What's BB Tales? I am Randy and I'm here with
J Money.
And you're watching Bear Talk. Okay, so today we are here to talk about some of our favorite shows.
Yeah.
Shows that we really enjoy. We're going to tell you why we enjoy them. We're going to tell you what they're all about. You can tell us what your favorite shows are down in the comments below. You can tell us why you like them. Whatever else you want to tell us about them. You know, it's great. I mean, spoilers aren't, greatly appreciated, because if you're going to tell us to watch a show, you probably shouldn't spoil it for us. And we won't do that to you. We're not going to spoil shows for you. Any show that we tell you we like, we're going to tell you why we like it, but we're not going to tell you spoilers. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with going back and forth, and then we're going to talk about shows that we both like. So to start, I'm going to let you go first.
Alright, I recently got into Love Island. I don't know.
Okay, so let's make sure that you tell what age range each show's supposed to be for.
Okay. Love Island is 18 plus for sure. They tell you that before every single episode. They're like, viewer discretion advised. It's on Hulu. You can find it on Hulu. So far, I think there's 4 seasons. The 4th one's happening right now, but there's 3 on Hulu. Mm-hmm. And each episode is 45 to an hour long, and there's up to 50 something episodes per season. And so a little background, it's a British reality TV show. So it's not filmed in the US, it's filmed in Spain, and these contestants go into a villa. I love their accent. But it's a villa, and it's basically just this big house, and they all sleep in this communal room, and you have to couple up. So it's a guy and a girl, it could be a girl or guy. They don't care. You can couple up, and you have to be coupled up. At the end of the day, you got to be coupled up. And if you get all the way through the 6 weeks or 8 weeks or something, you can win money, and it's 50,000 euros, which actually it's not even 100 grand. I don't know, but it's hilarious. They all have British accents or Scottish accents or whatever, and I love the phrase. They're always yes, the guy's she's my type on paper, 100%. Anyways, I love the show. It can be raunchy at times, be warned, but it's a good summer show.
It's a good summer show.
Summer.
My show is nothing like that one. One show that I actually just finished watching that I really liked was called Designated Survivor, and it taught me maybe not everything about it is super on point, but it's basically about the United States, and the show starts off and it's about basically, the whole point of the show is this, so it's not really a spoiler. Everyone in the Capitol dies except one person who is picked as the designated survivor, and basically while this White House address is going on, where the president talks to everyone that's in the House of Representatives and the Senate and a bunch of other people on the Hill, one person is chosen to not be at that meeting in case something happens. If something does happen, they blow up that part of the White House, and everyone dies except this guy who is in charge of the HUD, which is the House of Urban Development, I believe it is. And he's just he's the president. You probably didn't even know what that was, and now this guy's the president. And it's about how he reacts to it, him finding out who blew up the White House. It gets super intense, it's super action-packed. No one believes he can be president because no one knew his name literally the day before, and all of a sudden he's the president of the United States. He has to deal with backlash. He has to deal with people calling him out, attacks on the United States, who he's going to trust, who is actually behind it. Is it someone in the government? Is it is it terrorist? Who did this? Who can I trust? Who is out to get me? Who can actually have my back, and can I get through as actually being president before someone comes at me?
That's really interesting.
It is. And the first 2 seasons are about 20 to 22 episodes long. It actually this is going to make the show sound bad, but I really like it. It got canceled on ABC. Netflix picked it up for season 3. So the third season is only 10 episodes because that's how Netflix does their seasons.
Yeah,
But they brought just about everyone back for season 3, and I still thought it was a really good season. So really, I appreciate and I like the show. And it gets really into politics, and you're like, what? They can't do that to our country. And you're like, yeah, do this to them. And they're like, that's illegal. And I'm like, huh, right, laws. Huh, yeah.
That's interesting. I might have to check that out.
It's really good.
So another show that I like is Game of Thrones. A lot of people,
huge thing. For
huge following. Mm-hmm. It just ended sadly. Whether or not people like the last season, I don't know if you've heard.
I've heard so much hate about the last season.
Yeah.
I have friends that watch it and they're like, it's awful. Who wrote this season? I'm like, okay.
Yeah. In general, Game of Thrones is amazing. If you haven't heard of it, I can't imagine that you haven't. But if you haven't, a very general background. It's kind of like medieval times, and there's creatures, a lot of drama, of course, and there's like different houses. And houses is like if you have like a certain name, like a big name, means like you have a lot of money or you own a lot of land and stuff. And it's a Game of Thrones. People, each name wants to be the ruler of all the kingdoms, and it's like the name Game of Thrones. They just want to kill each other to get to the throne. That's basically it. It's really good. It just ended, so if you want to binge it,
it's all there.
This is your time. It's summertime, so why not?
You're right.
So, what's your next one?
My next one is called You, like Y-O-U. It's about this guy, and he meets a girl at the library, and he works at the library, and all of a sudden he's like, wow, she's very attractive. I want to talk to her. So he talks to her, and they flirt a little bit, and then she leaves. And he's like, I want to get to know more about her. And then, bam, you realize this guy's a stalker.
Oh, that one.
It's called You because he's obsessed with you. And it's even creepier because when someone asks you, hey, what have you been watching? You. That's not creepy.
Wait, you've been watching me?
No. I haven't watched it. I've been watching You.
Feels like somebody's watching.
Yeah, but so the show is about him stalking this girl and him trying to make life perfect to where they can be together, and he takes it way too far because I don't know if he has like a disorder, like I don't know exactly what it is. It's something. It's hard to say stuff without like giving away too much about the plot. Basically, there is something not 100% right about this guy, but he's stalking her, and it says a lot about men taking advantage of women and men forcing themselves on women, and it's a really good wake up call for reality, and it gets you into this mindset like that most people could never think of, like a stalker mindset, how they think. Like how they rationalize it for themselves and how it is to them in reality.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've heard like you
it's
and
nuts.
A lot of people talk. Differing opinions for sure on this show. So another show I like is called Gotham. So it's basically like before Batman became Batman. So he's a kid, Bruce Wayne, and but it's actually he's not really the main focus. The main focus is the detective Gordon, which you see in the movies. He's like an older guy who works for the police and stuff. But this is how he got into the police force, and it's really awesome. You get to see a lot of characters develop, such as like Catwoman, that you might not have known her backstory. Penguin is also another character. You can see how he becomes Penguin, and a lot of villains that you didn't know their backstory, and they tell the backstory, and it's done really well. Usually, sometimes shows that try to depict like superheroes from the movies. Sometimes they fall flat, sometimes they do better. But I think they did a really good job. I think it's still going on right now. I'm not fully caught up to it, but I really enjoyed watching. I think I've watched like 2 or 3 seasons of it already, but
Nice.
really cool.
So many good shows.
Yeah.
And my next good show that I have to say is Friends. So people love this show. Like if you haven't heard of Friends, I'd be very surprised. There's 10 seasons. It's about friends. It's 6 of them, 3 guys, 3 girls, and it's literally just everyday life for them. But they're goofy, they're funny, they're sarcastic, they're awkward, and it is just great. It's like, man, you have like the most awkward guy ever. You have someone who takes his job super serious, and like he's a paleontologist, and he's like a professor, takes his job super serious. You have a woman who has to come into life being thrown out of a world of money and actually come to deal with real life stuff. You have another girl who's lived on the streets her whole life and is actually finally coming into like a normal life, even though she's not normal. You have another girl who's the sister of the paleontologist, who's just like always lived in the shadow of her brother, who has to like go through life and prove herself. And you have the goofy guy who always tells jokes and takes shots at the ladies.
Oh.
Yeah. And those are the 6 characters. It's a great show, great time, and very interesting how it turns out.
Yeah. I've seen some episodes, but I haven't like sat down and like watched all the
That's how I was until a few years ago, and it's worth it. It's worth it.
So the next one for me is The Bachelorette / Bachelor. Now, my mom would watch it, and I just got caught up in it. You know, it's just so drama filled, you know, and just ridiculous.
I see a pattern with your shows. It's just drama.
Drama. So now me and my girlfriend watch The Bachelorette right now, the current season with Hannah. Yeah. But yeah, basically like you either have a guy or a girl, and you have like 30 different contestants, and you know they're in it for love, you know, and basically the Bachelorette or Bachelor will date all 30 of these guys or girls. It's ridiculous, honestly. But yeah, and then they do a rose ceremony after like each episode or something, and they're like, "Will you accept this rose?" And then the guy or girl's like, "Of course I will." And anyways, if you get a rose, you go into the next round, and yeah, it's very interesting. You know, classic American reality
TV shows.
Yeah, and like at the end of it, they're supposed to like get engaged. Yeah. After only meeting for like, I swear, like a month, I think.
Yeah.
And
you're supposed to be able to weed out who's perfect for you.
Yeah. Yeah, like alright.
So it works out sometimes, I'm sure. And sometimes
yeah, sometimes they do get married and have kids and live happily ever after. But
which I'm sure is the goal. But
yeah. And sometimes it doesn't work out. I mean, I don't know. It's a crazy idea, and it's hard to kind of wrap your head around it. Like
the fact that works sometimes is impressive.
Yeah. Like imagine if you're a guy or girl, and you know you really like this other guy or girl or whatever, but they're dating like 15 other people.
That's intense.
Other than you.
And you have to prove yourself.
Yeah, like I don't know. But it's so juicy, it's so drama filled. I love it.
Got you. Okay, so my last one that I've actually, a lot of people I know of this show. It's called American Horror Story, and I haven't watched all the seasons, but I've watched 3 of the seasons, and they're crazy. Basically, like what happened. Each season is completely different storyline, so that's what's important to know about this show. Every season is different. So it'll follow a story to the end of the season, and the next season is different. So like one follows witches and their powers and the fights that happen between 2 like witch groups and how that gets resolved. and who ends up on top. You have one where there's like a house, but there's cannibals living nearby, and the house is haunted, and people that live there have to deal with the haunted house and the haunted land and the cannibals that live nearby and how they survived it, and it's shot like a documentary style. Even the shootings of each one is different.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. And it's just, each one gives you a unique storyline and a unique experience. The one thing I do have to say is every first episode of this show has adult content in the first episode. It's meant to hook people in. I actually don't like it. It bothers me, but the rest of the season is like really good. Typically in these, and like if you know people that watch it, you can like ask around which seasons are good. Coven, which is the witch one, was good. The newest season, or second to newest season, where they have like the documentary style with the haunted land and the cannibals, is really good. It's like it's horror.
Yeah.
It's American Horror Story. It's supposed to be scary. It's supposed to be frightening, but it really gets you into it, and it's like really immersive, and it's just like there's so many different stories to tell with each one, and it's freaky. Freaks with your mind.
This man has fallen asleep listening to horror stories.
I like horror stories.
Yeah,
I do.
So
Yeah.
It seems like a perfect show for you.
Yeah.
So my next show, which is going to be the last show we're going to talk about separately, is The Handmaid's Tale. And so season 3 is just coming out. They already have like 4 episodes, I think. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. It's like a dystopian society called Gilead, and it's basically where the United States was, but it's Gilead now.
Gotcha.
And if you're a fertile woman, you're a handmaid, and you're under a commander and the commander's wife. And your whole purpose is to get pregnant by the commander.
Oof.
You can kind of put pieces together. And because there's a very there's a declining birth rate in United States / Gilead, and that's why Gilead came to be, because they're like, we need more kids, and this is a perfect way to do it. And they kind of have their own religion. Like, they quote the Bible, but they leave parts of the Bible out and parts of quotes out. And you'll figure out like why and stuff. But it's really interesting, really scary, honestly.
That sounds terrifying. Forcing anyone to like do something like that's terrifying.
Yeah, and it's really crazy, really well done, really well filmed, really. Like, the cinematography is amazing. And I mean, it's a little disturbing at times, for sure.
I'm sure. It sounds like it.
18 plus, please don't.
Yeah.
You don't really want to watch it with your parents or anything like that.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. But yeah, it's on Hulu, and I like it. You should watch it.
I'll check it out.
So what are some things that we both like?
So let's start with the top. We got the 100.
100, baby.
So the 100 is about 100 teenagers. Yeah. So basically, the world is destroyed because of a nuclear war that happened. And everyone's living up in space. And if you do a crime, you're arrested and killed right away, unless you're a teenager. Then you're kept in like a jail cell. Mm-hmm. So they need to test if Earth is livable again for reasons that you'll see on the show. So they send 100 teenagers to Earth to test if it's livable. I know that's messed up.
Yeah, it sounds so messed up.
But in their eyes, it's the best way to test like if the Earth is livable. So they basically send like almost like a what do you call that? Like a landing rocket thing. Yeah. It's basically meant to land on Earth, and with 100 of them, and just see if it's testable. And they have like monitors on them to see if they breathe, if everything's fine, whenever they land there. And
How many seasons is there? Like 5?
They're on season 5 now.
So you can kind of guess if they lived or not.
Yeah. 5 seasons in, I think they might have lived the impact.
Maybe.
And Earth was probably livable to some degree.
Honestly, I mean, I enjoy it, and I know you enjoy it.
I love it. It's so good.
Every season they bring something new. It's
crazy. I was surprised because I thought like season 1, I'm like, okay, they could probably still make it interesting. Season 2, I'm like, okay, maybe a little hard. Season 3, I was like, okay, there's no way they can beat season 3. Yeah. Season 4, I was like, wow, that was good. And now they're season 5, and I'm just continually impressed by what they're doing. It originally started off, it was a book, and they were writing the show but they didn't want to wait for the book to be finished, so they just made the show.
Kind of like Game of Thrones, like the show's ahead of the book for sure.
So, and they just kept going. I think the first book is like out, but they're not correlated. Like it starts the same idea and they taper off.
Kind of can't really follow it.
Yeah.
With that. But man, it's so good. Each season brings something new.
It really does, man.
It's very impressive for a show to actually do that.
It is, because a lot of shows I'll find that I'll watch 2 or 3 seasons and then after that I start losing it. But
and it's a CW show.
It's a CW show.
Which tell them like usually
CW show is the one usually where I'll watch 2 or 3 seasons and then I'll completely lose interest because like the whole story will just go bad.
But
this is impressive by the CW. Good job, CW. You made a show that I want to watch past season 3.
All right. Second one we both like Rick and Morty.
Oh jeez, man. Oh, I love Rick and Morty so much. Okay, so like this show is like stupid funny in the sense of like if you don't like crude humor and you don't like stupidity funny, then it might not be the show for you. But if you do, oh my gosh, you will love this show so much. It follows the adventures of a grandfather and a grandson who travel the freaking universe together and do crazy experiments and adventures. And it's been already like season 4 is done, right? Is it season 3?
Season 4 is coming out, I think.
Okay, season 3 is done. The seasons last like what, 13 episodes? Something like that?
Yeah, and they're already been approved for like
50 more episodes.
Yeah,
that shows you like the fan reaction to it. It was on Adult Swim, but it was such good reaction. There's not even 50 episodes, but they've already been approved for 50 more episodes.
Yeah,
that's how much people like this show.
It's great.
I love this show.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's something else, honestly.
It's amazing.
I remember like seeing that, I was like, I told my girlfriend, I was like, well, I want to watch it. She was like, all right. And it ended up being our favorite show ever, and then I got you into it.
It was so
and then
good. now we have to wait for season 4.
Yeah.
Which they have confirmed for this year.
The end of this year for sure.
Oh, I'm so hyped for that.
Yeah, everyone's honestly hyped.
Oh, okay.
Tell us about the next one.
Oh, the next one is Big Mouth. So Big Mouth is Netflix coming at us. So we have the first one was CW, the next one was Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, and now we have Netflix coming at us with a funny, crude show, and it's made by Nick Kroll. He voices like 8 of the people on the show. It's absolutely crazy, and it's about growing up. It's about growing up, hitting puberty.
Really,
It's literally the whole show is about them going through puberty.
Going through changes.
That's like the starting song. And it's about him whenever he was going through puberty and his friend going through puberty and his friend that was a girl going through puberty. And it's crude, but like I wish I had this show growing up because it teaches puberty in like a way that I wish I would have known growing up. It teaches about girl puberty, guy puberty, like why things happen, and it's hilarious. But it's hilarious. It's done in such a funny way. Oh my gosh, it's great.
It's definitely another show you shouldn't watch with your parents.
Don't watch it. No, not with parents. No.
But you will get a huge laugh. Yeah. And you might learn
some stuff that you didn't know, like about the opposite sexes, you know, puberty process.
Yeah.
Just I learned some stuff. I didn't.
Netflix has been killing it.
They have been killing it. They're on their A game.
So their classic show, Black Mirror.
Okay, so the thing about Black Mirror is every episode is different.
Yeah. So you don't have to start from beginning and go to the end. You can honestly choose whatever you want. That's what we did.
Just look at the description. Oh, that sounds awesome. Check that out. Yeah. They just came out with season 5.
Yes.
Yeah. Season 5.
I think so.
And the season 5 is only 3 episodes, and they range in length. So like they give you 45 minutes all the way up to like 75 minutes. And it just depends on the episode, the concept, what they're doing with it. And a lot of it explores advanced technology.
Yeah, sci-fi. Different realities, different.
It's kind of scary because like
some of it could be true.
Some of it, like some of the technology they're like referencing, we could see in like the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's about people abusing it and about how it could be horrible. But like I remember they talked about like an eye contact where like you can see like who's in front of you, and then people were like in the last 6 months talked about they invented some contact that can do something along those lines. And someone literally replied, Black Mirror taught us about this. This is going to go bad. But Black Mirror's insane, man.
Every episode is explored really well.
It is. It goes really in depth.
Concept.
Really in depth.
They've really done their research for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And really display certain technologies. Really, the actors are top notch.
They get like different actors for every episode, but they're all really good.
They get like big name actors too, like, and obviously they do a great job, and they have actors that we've never heard of,
but they still do an amazing job.
Yeah,
it's insane.
So
it's great.
Honestly, watch it. You don't have to watch all of it.
Yeah, not every episode's for you.
Yeah, we've skipped episodes ourselves
because they have explicit content that we don't want to see.
Yeah, but really great.
Yeah, we have people recommend episodes to us. So yeah.
Tell us about this other show. It's actually kind of close to Black Mirror. It's kind of
close to Black Mirror. It's called Love, Hate, and Robots, and I believe it's also a Netflix original.
It is.
It's
also
a Netflix
brand
original.
New this year.
So every episode is unique. It kind of also explores technology. Love, Hate, and Robots. So as you can tell, like different technology. But the thing about every episode for this one is Black Mirror more focuses on real life people, while this one is mostly animated, majority animated. And it's almost like a different art style for every episode. Blows my mind. So like sometimes there'll be like little cute hand drawn, and then sometimes there'll be like CGI in, and like there's one episode with like robots, and they're like CGI'd in, but they look legit real, like absolutely
it's
real.
Crazy.
And
like our friend was like, "Wait," we were like, "Yeah, well, isn't that really cool?" Like this show is all animated. He's like, "So it's animated?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "That's CGI," but there's like one or maybe two episodes with like real people, but the rest of it's like drawn or animated or something, and it's absolutely beautiful artwork.
Oh yeah.
Well done show. I mean, maybe you don't want to watch every episode, but like, I loved every episode of Love, Hate, and Robots.
Again, I mean, you don't watch it with your parents.
Yeah, some of them are like you definitely don't want to watch with your parents. Maybe watch it first, then be like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, this is a cool episode of the show." But every episode's different.
All of them
I haven't watched those episodes.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Netflix is it's not constrained to live TV standards.
No, it's not.
So obviously, live TV they can only show up to certain things.
Yeah.
But Netflix, they control their own stuff.
Yeah.
So like,
also, just because it's animated, don't assume there's not adult content on it.
Yeah.
Because you will learn that's not true.
Yeah. But overall, it was amazing.
Great show.
Yeah.
And then the last show we have to talk about is rightfully the last show we have to talk about, and it is The Office. If you haven't heard of The Office, you've been living under a rock. You need to come out and enjoy the light because The Office is amazing. I was actually not super into watching The Office because the first season is, I'm going to warn you now, first season is horribly slow. The comedy's nothing like the rest of the seasons, and it's because they had The Office UK, so they tried to mimic The Office UK instead of like making their own thing. And whenever they started making their own thing, that's when the show really took off. The Office UK barely lasted like a season or two, I think.
Yeah.
And when The Office, like the US version, started doing its own thing, it was phenomenal. Steve Carell and, oh my gosh, so many amazing people. Jim and Pam and so many other amazing people. It's literally just an office environment where you have like quirky people that make jokes and just get along and don't get along, and their boss is like super dorky and awkward, and it's great. It's amazing. Like,
yeah, definitely, you should definitely watch it. It's a certain type of humor.
It is a certain type of humor. Like a lot of the shows that we're talking about, you have to have specific types of humor for. I mean, we just kind of enjoy the majority of them, and that is because like we have a wide sense of humor.
Yeah, we enjoy
not everyone does. I mean, like some people we know don't like these shows because of their type of humor. That's okay.
It's definitely like dry humor, but it's
The Office is dry humor. It's not like stupid humor. It's dry humor.
Yeah.
But if you like dry humor, it's amazing.
Yeah. It's got drama. It's got a great storyline, and honestly, it's a good ending.
And it's shot kind of like not like a normal documentary style.
Yeah.
Not like a normal documentary style, but like it's supposed to be a documentary. So it's interesting.
It's really interesting.
They'll have like side cuts of people.
Yeah.
So like something happens,
like interviews,
and just imagine like Jay Money's off the side. I can't believe he just did that. What was he doing? But yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot of shows we forgot.
There's tons of shows we forgot, probably.
But
tell us what shows you like in the comments down below. We want to know. We want to hear what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you taking our time to watch our videos. Please hit the like button. It shows us you appreciate us, and it shows your support. Greatly appreciate it. I am Randy. I'm here with
J Money.
This has been Bear Talk, and please bear with us until the next video.
Where's my